Hi there, good afternoon and welcome to our session where you and I sit down together and talk about summaries. So you are on BYJU'S exam prep channel dedicated to your success as a CAT aspirant, and we keep on focusing on different things, different elements, different aspects. A bit of it has to do with strategy, quite a few of these have to do with practice, and of course there are topic specific areas. So today the focus is going to be on para summary. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and if you press the bell icon, you would get a notification every time we go live or every time we upload a session. And it is absolutely important that you press that bell icon because we keep on bringing so many sessions. I mean, it's not possible for you to check YouTube 5 times during the day to see if BYJU'S exam prep has uploaded something or not, right? Isn't it great to get the notification right there? So my name is Vikrant, and I am your personal coach for all things related to communication, English, psychological aspects of preparation. And before we go further, how about priming ourselves up with this? So ideation without execution is delusion. So I know that a lot of you have great ideas, but then at times we falter when it comes to execution. So usually when I take sessions here on YouTube, back on the app, in my batch, I generally give some very specific follow-up actions. I tell people that, hey, why don't you do this particular thing for this many minutes every day from this particular place. So the struggle that a lot of people have is that they don't execute, and therefore they are not able to get the kind of results that they can easily get, results that they do deserve. So make sure that you remain steadfast, resolute on the path of execution, and that is going to bring in a huge amount of difference. So considering that we are talking about summary questions today, what do we even mean by a summary? So every year we get 2 to 3 questions in the CAT exam where the examiner gives us a paragraph. That paragraph is followed by 4 answer choices, where every answer choice claims to be a summary of the paragraph, and our job is to pick up the best one from the 4 that are given to us. And that is why at times I actually call it best summary of the paragraph question as well. So what do you understand by a summary? So anyone who wants to give it a shot, anyone who wants to answer. So there is an expression that I am quite fond of. I say that a summary is a miniature portrait. So a portrait? A portrait is supposed to show or depict something as it is. So if that paragraph is the portrait, then summary is a miniature portrait. So whether you look at the miniature or the actual, you should know that we are talking about the same person. Similarly, whether you look at the summary or the paragraph, you should get the same basic key ideas. Or another way of defining it could be this. That summary is where you convey the same using fewer words. So when I say the same, I'm talking about the same key ideas, right? Retaining the tone of the paragraph. And of course you end up using fewer words, and that is why when Sunny says concise, I am with him on this. So you need to be concise, you need to display brevity, you need to be pithy. So absolutely yes. And Tarun says main idea of the paragraph. See Tarun, the difference is I am saying key ideas and you are saying main idea. Is there a difference between the two? So main idea is one of the key ideas used in a paragraph. So that main idea can at times get supported by other ideas, right? So you can have a supporting idea 1, a supporting idea 2. So your job is to, ideally a summary should capture all of these 3. However, you are to a certain extent right. If I look at it technically, we won't say that summary is the main idea, but a lot of the CAT questions, typically they give you a paragraph and the correct answer which has a summary is in 80-90% of the times that's generally the main idea. But there are these 10% instances where you find an answer choice that gives you the main idea plus these other key ideas, in which case don't forget to choose that over it. Prasanna says prolix. No. Prolix is verbose. Prolix is the opposite of what we want. So prolixity is verbosity in writing, and verbosity is using more words than necessary. Here we are trying to use fewer words. So prolixity, no. The opposite of prolixity, yes. Okay, so let's go ahead, practice a few questions, and then in that process, if we have any issue, if we face any challenge, we'd go ahead and talk about it. So the approach when it comes to attempting these questions is rather straightforward. The very first thing that you do is you read the paragraph that is given to you and you identify the key ideas of that paragraph. So when I say identify the key ideas, I'm saying that you need to know that, hey, this is a key idea and this is an elaboration, detail, example, support, reiteration, restatement, etc. And once you've done that, then you go to the answer choices and start eliminating. Please do not start writing a summary. Please do not start thinking of a summary in your mind, because when that happens, you end up spending more time and that is not even needed. So go to the options and start eliminating. I normally eliminate on the basis of 2 factors, distortion and addition and deletion. So let's start with distortion. So distortion is anything that tinkers with what is given in the paragraph. Anything that captures what is given in the paragraph but in such a way that the message changes. So that is a distortion. So the distortion can be of a fact given in the paragraph. The distortion at times can be of the main idea itself. So you read the paragraph, you read the summary. In both the cases, you should get the exact same main idea in your mind. If you get 2 different main ideas, then it's obviously a distortion. And then the third thing that can be distorted is tone. Now this can be at times very subtle, but then you do need to pay attention to it, otherwise you may end up getting the question wrong. So that's the first thing that I check. Does my option has any distortion? If yes, then I flag it. Now, should I rule out the options that have distortions? Not really. At the end of the day, you're supposed to pick up the best summary. So maybe all the options have distortions and there is one that has the least amount of distortion. So you would pick that up. So that's how it's going to be. So don't eliminate straight away. Take your time. Then the second thing that I do is I check for addition and deletion. Addition is introducing new ideas in the summary. Now this is a big no-no. Any option that has addition, that's an option that I typically eliminate straight away. And then deletion is, I told you that a summary is all about key ideas. So let us say that a paragraph had 3 key ideas. So if there is an answer choice that gives me only 2 of those key ideas or only one of those key ideas, then I would call it a deletion. So unlike addition, where I rule it out straight away, when it comes to deletion, I do not rule it out because following that principle of the best answer choice, even the one with deletion can come out on top. So all the actual exam questions that I've attempted, they could be solved using these 2 ways of eliminating options. So I did not really have to go beyond that, but theoretically, it is possible for us to create 2 answer choices where both of them capture the paragraph well. There is no distortion, no addition, no deletion. So they capture it well. So in that case, we still need to pick up the best answer choice. So which one should we choose? So in that theoretical situation, you are supposed to use this third layer, and that is the layer of conciseness. So all else being equal, the option that is more concise is the option that becomes better when it comes to choosing a para summary. So that's how we really look at it. And today I am going to force you to think in terms of key ideas. So on the next slide, you'll find a paragraph, and on the slide thereafter, you'll have your answer choices. But before I take you to the answer choices, I want you to read the paragraph and share the key idea or key ideas with me in the chat. You ready? So there you go. Here is your first paragraph. Go ahead and tell me the key ideas mentioned here. So what do you think? What is this? So let me just keep it simple. What is this paragraph about? Can you give me the subject matter or the topic? So this is a paragraph that talks about castles. And what does it tell you about castles? So overall, the opinion leans towards negative and says castles were not really considered a comforting sight, or you can actually say castles were a source of considerable misery for people living within and without. So with that, let's get into our answer choices. What do you think should be chosen as the best summary for the paragraph? So absolutely correct. D is the answer here. So you notice, let's just demonstrate. So when you talk about 18th century castles, when you talk about tourists, these are all additions. So A should definitely be eliminated. Then in B as well, crowds arrived, that's an addition. And then this part, changed from being feared. So that change is not mentioned in the paragraph. So A, B and C all suffered from addition, and therefore D is the only one that can be picked up. It at least does not have additions. Okay, so with that, let's move over to the next paragraph, and once you've read it, tell me what this is about. So, what's the key focus of this particular paragraph? So, can I say that the subject matter here is Jain vegetarian diet? And then it talks about why they do not eat meat. Sunny, it's not about the principle of ahimsa. It is basically about Jain vegetarian diet. Ahimsa is cited as the reason behind not eating meat, fish and eggs. So, if we say the principle of ahimsa in Jainism, there will be a distortion of the main idea. Right? So, here are your answer choices. Go ahead and tell me what you think is the best one here. Okay, so C it is. Now if I look at C in isolation, I would not really call it a great summary, but the problem is the others have bigger issues, and that is why you notice Mahavir's teaching not a part of the paragraph, veganism not a part of the paragraph, so B and D were very clearly out, and A and C both suffer from deletions. But then C gives you two key ideas, whereas A gives you just one, and that is why C should be preferred over A. So that's the approach. Okay, here is the next one. Yeah, Sunny, that is why I said that C is definitely again something that suffers from deletion, but we had to pick up the best one, right? So done, read it. Let us go ahead and look at the answer choices now. This is going to bother quite a few of us. Okay. So let us see. Can we come up with C? I think you notice all the options have problems. The problem with A is that it does not talk about neoliberal. With this new meaning, which new meaning? You cannot really do that in a summary. This once again does not talk about neoliberalism. So that's the problem with A and B. There is no discussion of neoliberalism here. So does this take the connotation of fake? Yes, but in neoliberalism, not everywhere. Same problem with B, and then let's have a look at C. The new sense of neoliberal as a stain has settled in for good. The problem here is with the use of the word for good. It is a stain, yes, but what is the meaning of for good? And while you share that, let me go ahead and evaluate D. The word neoliberal was originally an insult. No. Who had defected to the right. So both of these things are not even mentioned. That's very clearly an addition. So there is a problem with all the four answer choices. So could you figure out the meaning of for good? No, nobody has shared it so far. And then Sati, paragraph was about neoliberalism. Was the paragraph about the prefix neo in general? Because if I look at B, that's what I get. So that there is a completely different, completely new main idea. So in A and B, we are not talking about neoliberalism. In C and D, we are. The problem with C is the use of the word for good. For good basically means forever, which is not given in the paragraph. So that is an addition. And in D also we had two additions. So every answer choice is wrong, but C is going to be the best one because this has the least amount of problem in it. So even if you compare it to D, D has two additions, C at least has only one. So that's how you can compare and choose the best answer choice for yourself. Here is the next one. So let's dive into the next question. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, so can I say that this paragraph essentially talks about effects of mass shootings? Now, these effects can be on the political ideology that the person subscribes to. The effects can be on a person's attitude towards gun control laws. That's basically the key. So with that in mind, let us have a look at our answer choices. What's your take? Okay, C, A. So whenever a mass shooting shocks a country, people ask if tighter gun control measures could have prevented the slaughter. There are some people who advocate for tighter gun control, but then there are others who prefer open carry. There are others who say that, okay, we shouldn't even have firearms. So this is very narrow. We're talking about the effects or the aftermath of mass shootings. This is just one aspect and not a summary. So if I were to label it, I will say that A suffers from heavy deletion. B can very easily be ruled out. I think I won't need to talk about it. And when we talk about C, they weave new connections with their peers, a substitute family of sorts. Again, additions or can be eliminated. So I think the choice boils down to A versus C. B and D are not even mentioned. I know that a couple of us have picked up B as our answer, but then no law can eliminate the risk of mass shooting. Show me one word, one sentence, one statement that says no law can do that. Anywhere? Okay, let me talk about more. Mass shootings are unpredictable and represent a small minority of gun homicides. Where do you know that mass shootings are unpredictable in this paragraph? Any word? Which part of the paragraph says that mass shootings represent a small minority of gun homicides overall? So B is every single thing in B. It makes 3 claims. None of those are there in the paragraph. So these are not the kind of options that we are supposed to choose, right? But then how about C? What is a connective tissue? For those of us who've studied biology, connective tissue is the tissue that connects, supports, binds or separates one organ from another, one tissue from another. So when you say they are deep in the country's connective tissue, you're saying that, okay, they have a significant impact where they can bind people or separate people, and that is what it is talking about. So there are times when it joins, there are times when it brings people over to the same side, there are times when it takes people to different sides. So that is the best answer choice given the situation. Definitely better than A. As A is very narrow, it talks about just one idea. C at least talks about the theme a little more holistically. Okay, here is the next one. What's your take? So go ahead, read the paragraph once and then we'll move over to the answer choices. Tarun, I actually gave you the summary when we were looking at the paragraph, right? But then none of those answer choices have that summary. So what do? You eliminate and choose the one which is the best. So if you treat connective tissue as a metaphor for a society, I think C would turn out to be an okay answer choice. Not great, but definitely better than A. So ideally, I agree with you. We should confine it to political divisions, or shouldn't even say divisions, but changes in their political ideologies and changes in their attitude towards gun control laws. All right, so here are the options for question number 5. What's your take? Let's hope that I don't have to discuss this question a lot. This should be easy. Okay, So Sunny, Tarun, Prasanna, I am absolutely Muskan in agreement with you. The correct answer is indeed D. And with that, let's move over to our next question. Let's check this out. So this is talking about sustainable agriculture, right? Let's go ahead, have a look at the answer choices, and then we can come back to the paragraph if required. So here are your options. So absolutely right. The best answer choice here is A, as you've already figured out. If I look at B, yet to get a clear-cut agriculture definition changes the tone and distorts the second half of the paragraph. There is no single approach, yes. Hence, it is very difficult to find a technique. This is something that is not there in the paragraph, and this undesired bit is again something that cannot be concluded, or you cannot really interpret it from the paragraph. So that makes A the best answer choice for you. So I hope now you know how we go ahead and evaluate different answer choices, and moving forward this should help you in your approach. If you want more practice, you can join in for our CAT 23 crash course, where we take a session every evening at 7 p.m. I am sure this is going to help you out immensely. Additionally, you can consider enrolling in our test series, which gives you access to 10,000 practice questions and loads and loads and loads of tests, 80 plus tests. Imagine that. And in case you're struggling with some specific area, you can unlock a 3-day free trial, attend those classes at least, and then let us know how that went for you. People who are part of those classes or have used them wisely have actually gone on to score a great percentile in the past. So that's it from me today. If you liked the session, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to meeting you in our next session together, where we pick up some other topic, go ahead and dive into some other area, right? So until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and keep working hard. Take care. See you soon.